We'll go through all the lists, but food is usually the number one thing that dogs resource guard. Now, from a puppy, this is where a lot of the bad advice comes into play and usually creates more resource guarding, even though the attempt of this advice is to stop resource guarding. So a lot of people, now if you're listening to this and you have a puppy, do not do what I'm about to say. People say to make your dog be comfortable with you being around the dog's food, you should take the bowl away and give it back to them and touch their food and touch them while they're eating. That is a recipe for a dog to get really annoyed and potentially start the process of resource guarding. Because, and just imagine you were eating and I came next to you and I took your food away, I poked your steak and I touched you and I poked your ears every single time you were eating. Would you not get upset and either see me come in the room and run away, which usually that doesn't happen, especially if you're very hungry. And if you could put yourself in the dog's perspective, would you not then get angry and stand up and shout and potentially punch me in the head if I was going to touch that food? Because you knew that that was the case. So it's important here that you realize if you're going to be messing with your dog's food while they're eating, you're giving them a reason to be upset at you and giving them a reason for them to bite you. And so a couple ways that you could leverage that from food, especially from a young puppy. 2 things that I would suggest, maybe 3. Number 1 is if you're feeding a dog from the bowl, leave the dog alone. You've already given them their food. It's their food to eat. You're not touching their food. You let them eat it. Don't give them a reason to be upset at you. And that involves you not touching their food, not taking the bowl away and giving it back to them, all that sort of stuff, because that doesn't do anything positive anyway. Now, a lot of it is a genetic predisposition. So it's usually something that the dog is either going to be a resource guarder or not going to be a resource guarder, generally because of their mum, dad, and their ancestors before that. If mum and dad and grandparents were resource guarding dogs, then it's likely that